Yeah, you already know what it is. Fan from Nine, your most social media choice, aka the Aunt Ends in the podcast, and Captain Brew Albano, Brew Diamond Phillips, Sticky the Dragon, God's favorite podcast, the Potty Pipe. I'm in the podcast, Chew Bubblegum, and I'm all out of Dentine Ice, but y'all don't care nothing about that, man. Y'all see what it is today. We got a very, very special guest, the Duplex Assassin, brother Alex Kane. Brother, Bombaye, what's happening?
Yeah, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I'm excited for this match against your boy Grim.
Listen, I
I
actually
don't know if he's your boy or not. Let me not say that. I don't know if he's your boy.
you know what? You can go here. You know that's my guy. It's funny. I ran into him Friday night, and just being a fan of these events, he seems to be the guy that draws the big, the big time guy coming in. He draws like the guy that everybody's like, oh, he's gonna be over at Fight. Let's go. Um, how is it like? What is it like? Kind of being at MLW, but actually kind of being able to kind of move and shake. Is that really important to you? You know what I mean? As far as what it is you're doing.
Oh yeah, most definitely. To have my freedom and to be able to move about how I want to move, it's something that they encourage at MLW. They like to see that I'm out and about, whooping ass, taking names, wherever I go. So yeah, it's very, very important to me to be a true independent contractor.
Yes, because you know what, we're gonna stay positive today is what we're gonna do, man. I'm happy to see you here. I am a fan of what you have been doing over the past year or something. Just seeing the images of stuff that I have not seen before. Um, I have seen a growing number of black folks on TV because of uh because of yourself, sir. I know that there's some sort of effort there, but what is, I guess, the program? What is the design? What was the design? We're seeing, all these good folks. We're seeing, the homie Jay Bougie, Sis Fate. We're seeing a lot of folks that we love and that are friends to us already, but they're kind of being put. You've been uplifting these folks, man. What's been the plan behind that?
The whole plan is like there aren't enough black faces on television. Even though actually no, let me not say that. There's not enough prominent there's not enough black faces on TV. And I hate when guys get to a certain position and they pull the ladder up, or they pull it up just enough so you have to like jump for it and jump for it and jump for it. And you may never actually grab that. You know, uh, somebody who was in the fight train said it, and I can't remember all of their names, but I know all their faces. But he had said that it's it's wild that being black, like for this opportunity to be on TV in this spot, like just being black gets me in the door. That's not something that normally gets you in the door. That's normally something that keeps you out. Even in today's day and age, which is wild to me. But yeah, like I always had the vision of the Bombaye Fight Club not just being a faction for MLW, but becoming a movement. I said it long before I started doing these entrances and started incorporating people in my pre-tapes and stuff like that. Is that the Bombaye Fight Club is a movement? I said this back when I was a heel. Um, and I didn't none of this was like, oh, I gotta do this, it's gotta be this and this. It's just like the ideas come, and um I'm just like, I'm just gonna ride with him and roll with it. The entrance itself, um it was, I mean, I remember like for shows before, I had Suge, I had O'Shea, I had Eel, I had the damn, what are their names, tag team in the Northeast. I can't remember the names right now. Man, I'm getting old. But I had them, but like the entrance that it is today, that I don't know if that was supposed to be a one-time thing or if that was supposed to be just for, the match against the man who shall not be named when I won the belt. Um, you know, but I guess the reaction that it got and the traction that it got, it was just like, let's keep this going for as long as I can keep this going. So yeah, the whole plan, the whole mission was to put more was representation. There's not there's a good bit of it, but there's not enough of it. So that's what I wanted to do, and to hopefully provide an avenue for people to get onto the show itself, Bougie and O'Shea. So like I want to see more of that, but I can only do so much.
Is there a point there where you felt like, and I don't want you to sit here like you patting yourself on the back, but more so, is there a point where you felt like, okay, this is getting to what I want it to be? Not necessarily the final level, but this is the execution. Is there a point where you were like, you know what? This is going the way I want it to go?
Yeah. What was it? Um, the show the match against Cardona was probably my the moment where I was like, oh, this is fucking fire. This is amazing. This is awesome. Like it's been awesome every other time, but just like the energy of that particular entrance was like that was beautiful.
That's dope. What is now? I love that you brought up Cardona. There is a level of relatable trash talk, not just I'm gonna see you in the ring on Sunday. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, you've been talking the way we talk
Hmm.
when we need to talk. Where did you get to the point where you felt supported enough to talk that way?
Um, yeah, like I mean, like Court and all of MLW, they've always been like, you do you, and we'll support that. But like for the longest time, I was not comfortable on the mic. I wasn't when they were like, "Oh, here you got a promo for your match." I'm just like, uh, oh, well, what do I do? What do I say? And a lot of that came from uh, before I earned the trust that I have now, having to read, off of a sheet. But once it got to the point where it wasn't about the sheet or whatever, and it was just like go out there and say this in your own words, then it was like, now we can have some fun.
So it's like, yeah, now I'm gonna tell you the menu item, you get to cook it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's the best way it comes out. Um, trash talk, trash talk included, man. You got one coming up next week. And Brother Grimm, who does a bit of trash talking himself. Um, what are you looking forward to, I guess, in that match, and what can we really expect?
Man, I'm looking to really test him. Like, I mean, yeah, he has these banger matches all the time, and he's been doing these banger matches for forever. And these banger matches aren't really getting him to where he wants to go. So, uh, like, yeah, it's gonna be a barn burner. It's gonna be a great match. But I'm going to test the other abilities that he should have if he wants to, go to that next level. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard hitting. It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be grimy. But I feel like if anybody was going to be able to bring that out of a Grim, it's me. I'm not here to see you do all the high flying and all that other shit or whatever. You can keep that crap to yourself. Can you go? And I don't mean flip, but can you go?
Mm, that's hey, listen, that is we've seen last time we saw Myron Reed. Time before that, it was the gentleman from Pure Ignorance, the small guy Chaz, and so this is definitely a different test for him. I the fact that Fight is a black indie,
Hmm.
right? And so you don't have to worry about, well, am I going to be, is this environment pointed towards
You ain't
what
got
it
to worry
is.
about, is this environment gonna accept me? Am I gonna be able to be myself in this environment? Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Correct. So, what does that comfortability allow you to do in ring, and just what you bring to whatever company
It
you decide to
allows
bring
me
your
to
cat?
cut up even more. The way I cut up on MLW is one thing. The way I cut up around my people is a whole other thing. Like I am, I haven't even noticed to myself. I'm different, not in a bad way, but like when I'm out there with the whole Fight Club, and we're out there, we're having a good time on the entrance or whatever. I'm here to have a fucking good time. I'm cutting up. Um, so in a room full of people that look like me, that are here to watch other people that look like me do what they love to do and do what they do best, it's gonna be a party. It's gonna be a very violent party, but it's gonna be a party.
Absolutely, man. I keep telling folks every time I keep coming back. I mean, the wrestling is great, but the Crown Royal is cheap. And so, are you now, because pro wrestlers are known for kind of stepping out from time to time? Are you a guy that is going to go to the bar and pay and maybe partake in a beverage or two?
Not necessarily to a bar. I've only been to a handful in my life. I'm more of a homebody. I like to sit on the couch with my wife, and uh, we'll partake in a drink or two or whatever, but watching shit on fucking TV, whatever the fuck we have. I think right now we're watching like Stargirl or some shit.
I didn't. That's one of the HBO DC joints.
Yeah, Max. Yeah, Max.
Yeah, Max. Yeah. I'm not a I guess I am a homebody as well. Are you? So when you're partaking, you and the missus, what are you down?
I there's this it's like amaretto,
Mhm.
which apparently I'm not supposed to be able to drink because I'm allergic to tree nuts, but I guess I skirt by a little bit. But
Oh,
amaretto and orange juice.
that's not a bad drink. It's almost an amaretto sour. It's a pretty good
Yeah.
drink. That is a pretty good drink. I'm a fan of the whiskeys. I'm a
Hmm.
more social guy. Um, it seems to be like a different culture in pro wrestling now, though. Like it used to be, like everybody went out to the bar and got hammered and stumbled into the event. Um, what do you think? What's the biggest change in what you see in locker rooms from when you started to now?
Um, I think the biggest change, and it's not a positive one, is the lack of people asking questions. Because like I always tell young guys that I got as good as I am and as quickly as I did is because I was always asking questions. And a lot of people aren't asking questions. A lot of people aren't asking for critiques. They don't want to be told, what they did wrong or what they could do better. And like that advice from the vets in your locker room is free. Some people would rather go take a seminar and try to get something out of that, and a lot of those seminars out there, and no knock on seminars are good when they're good, but some of them are bullshit. You're not really learning anything. You're going over the basics in every single one of these, and I mean basics are good. You should go over basics, but like if I'm paying $50 for a seminar, like I want to actually learn something that I can take into my next matches, into training or something. And if it's not that, then you're wasting your time. So you might as well just at the show that you're at. Um, hey Alex Kane, I see you that you're not super busy or whatever. Like, can you watch my match for me? And I will watch your match, and then I will give you critiques. I'm not going to tell you what you did right or anything like that. I will tell you what you could work on. And sometimes there are giant holes in people's games, and sometimes they're little bitty things. The little bitty things is what you want. You want little holes. You don't want big holes. You want little holes.
Just like in most life. However, who did you get the most game from when you was really kind of learning your way?
Oh man, Fox definitely. Sean Dean, uh, O'Shea when I finally met him. My I guess my first like real year like on the independence itself. Suge D, um, Shane Taylor. Uh, these are these are the guys that I would talk to. Matt Griffin, even he's the booker of Action Wrestling in Georgia. Um, And then what I guess the guy that kind of made me realize kind of who I could be. His name's Wicked Nemesis. He's I guess a retired manager from Alabama, but like when I kind of got my start on the independents during like the pandemic era, I was wrestling at this promotion called Pro South Wrestling. He was there, and he kind of took me under his wing, and kind of like not molded me or anything like that, but like was like, "Yo, look, you're this badass. You could be this much more if you do this, this, and this."
What was the best single piece of advice you got?
Man, the best single piece of advice and the biggest piece of advice that I passed on more than any other piece of advice is from AR Fox, and it is in order to become good at this, in order to become good at professional wrestling, you have to become obsessed with it. And by becoming obsessed with it is like only watching wrestling. At least like in your developmental years, or maybe 6 months to a year, all you're watching is professional wrestling. Because for a wrestler, if you can understand, if you can like tattoo the structure of a match into your mind, everything else becomes way easier. But I feel like a lot of people nowadays, there's not so much psychology and things that they're doing. They're just doing shit to do shit. They want to get likes. They want to go viral. This, that, and third, and that has its place. But when you're first starting out, it shouldn't be, oh, I got to do all these crazy moves. It should be like, how do I tell the best story, and how do you learn these stories by watching some of the best people to ever have ever done it tell certain stories. So just consume as much wrestling as possible.
So of the vets, and everybody does this. I hate to be generic, but it's just good conversation normally. What brothers would you put into Alex Kane's Mount Rushmore of guys to watch to get better?
Uh, Definitely Air Fox. Not because he's my trainer, but if you really once you get past like, okay, he uses his body as a weapon, stuff like that, but when you actually break down the psychology that he puts into these matches, you'll start to realize, oh, this guy's really he's really him. He's really him. Um, O'Shea, Suge D. I've learned a lot from Suge D. Um, Shelton Benjamin. Um, Good shit. That's the person who kind of who really helped me. I found whole, um, a whole like new level of confidence from watching him. Um, who else? I mean, Randy Orton, Triple H, Randy Orton for pacing because his pacing is top tier. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, that's my list.
It's really cool to talk to a bunch of workers just because everybody looks at it different, right? Some guys just
Mhm.
want to come in and get their stuff in, you know what I mean, and do the best flip for the night. And some
Yeah.
people kind of come in and leave a mark. And I'm seeing that you are a leave a mark guy. Why?
One, because you save your body from doing that. You trying to go out there and do crazy shit every single night. Your career is not going to last very long. And then also, that's not what people are looking for. Like in these offices that of these companies that you're trying to get to, they don't. I mean, there's 500 people on the independents doing the same shit that you're fucking doing, but there's only like maybe 100, 150 people actually out there leaving a mark and telling a story, or showing that they have a grasp on psychology. It's like you can get your stuff in, you can, but everything's got to make sense. If I'm wrestling a guy and I injure his leg, like he shouldn't be trying to fuck. He shouldn't be trying to do a bunch of flying or do a bunch of running or jumping or anything like that because your leg hurts. Like I don't care I don't care what your game plan was. Your game plan now changes because your leg is hurt. And when those guys don't acknowledge that their leg is hurt or don't sell that their leg is hurt, then like you're killing the match because you just want to do the cool stuff. Um, it yeah, it's I feel like it just makes for better wrestling. I feel like that's the stuff that people should be um applauding. Other than, I mean, cool moves are cool to see, but like being able to tell a coherent story, like if it was, because we always say in wrestling that the moves don't matter, and they don't matter. Anybody can do them at anywhere. It means something different for everybody else. But in that same breath, we say that there's still people, the people will get more adulation for doing something crazy and or stupid, um uh and they'll get all this adulation for it, other than, oh, this guy can really tell a story, I'm really wrapped in this. Like, we don't hype that up enough. Like, guys, like, even though I think that he is a despicable villain unto himself, Darius Carter is that
I do.
kind of storyteller.
Mhm.
I mean, I know I didn't name him when you asked me about people I look for, but I even watching him and wrestling him.
I lost your audio. You are muted. I'm sorry, brother.
You hear me?
Yeah, we good now.
Okay, yeah, you can, like,
Sorry.
even watching Darius Carter and wrestling him the two times that I did, you learn so much. Like, he's so good, but the way that he wrestles and what he does and the stories that he tells, like, yeah, like, hear people here and there are like, oh my god, this guy's awesome, but it's not getting the same. It's not getting him the same. It's not getting him the love that is going to get him a contract somewhere.
Right. So when you are working as the villain of the match, how
Hmm.
important is it to you not to be cool? Not to, like, how do you how hard do you work at staying away from, oh, he did the cool thing, because it's easy to get that love, like, but when that's
Uh,
not the purpose,
I
how hard is that to stay away from?
It's not. It's not hard to stay away from. I mean, I try to make sure everything that I do, especially as a heel, babyface or heel or whatever, because there's really not much of a difference at this juncture. But I try to make sure everything I do is devastating. I do have. I have, as one of my friends put it, I have enough charisma to make a snake charmer jealous. So I kind of got to play with that. But yeah, it's never about, for me, about doing the coolest thing. Like, when I first started, I was trying to throw every single suplex that I possibly could, and now I throw what makes sense for the situation that I'm in, and what's going to do the most damage. But I tailor everything now that I do now toward storytelling. Not so much, oh, I need to get this in.
Hey man, what's the story going to be next week with you and Grim?
I'm going to cut Grim off at the legs, and we're going to see what he can actually do when he can't fly through the air.
Brother, I'm not gonna keep you too much longer. I'm gonna let you go, man. How can the folks get at you on social media? Where do they need to go to see whatever you got coming up next?
So Twitter and TikTok are both Alex_Kane 11. The Instagram is the Suplex Assassin. And then I'm also on YouTube. So yeah, those are the places you can find me posting things, and you can see what I'm up and what I'm doing next.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming through. Ilfam 79 your social media choice. Brother Alex, I appreciate you coming through. Stay healthy, man. Be good, man.
Yes, sir. You have a good
I
one.
appreciate you.